Welcome in, everybody, to another concert review. I'm here with my mom. Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
We just went and saw Buckethead. What's the date today? The 13th? September 13th, 2025 at the Plaza in Orlando. This is my fourth time seeing Buckethead, and this is her second. So give me your overall thoughts so far as we're heading home from the show.
Overall, well, let me start with the venue. I absolutely love the venue. It was just open and cool, and you could see it was just very comfortable. And I like the lighting and the atmosphere.
Yeah, I love the Plaza. This is my second time being at the Plaza. The first time was at Buckethead last year. Yeah, just something about it with just how there's just like a mystique to it. It's kind of spooky. You said it gave you bowling alley vibes. Yeah, and I completely agree. I mean, it's like in a shopping center basically, and yeah, it also has like a smell to it. The capacity is 1,000, and yeah, I just think like the smallness of it is super interesting and super fun. It's just very different than like the other types of venues we've been to. Like, we've been to a lot of bigger venues. No matter
where Buckethead was on the stage, we had a really good view of them, like up and close and personal.
Yeah, definitely. Before the show started, definitely wanted to get some merch. What did you think of the merch?
I was really pleased with the variety, especially after the last show. You said they only had a couple things.
Yeah. So I don't remember ever really seeing much merch for Buckethead, like the first couple times I saw him. But then the third time, he had a couple shirts and some stickers and stuff, and I actually got both of the shirts. But then this time, I agree with you, they had a ton of variety. They had like, what, 4 or 5 shirts?
I would say 5, yeah. 5 shirts.
And I think they had even like a sweatshirt. They had numerous stickers, and they even had 2 different posters.
You said they had buckets too.
Yeah, they had buckets also. Not KFC buckets, but just like, I don't know, custom Buckethead buckets or whatever. And like the shirts were like $40. And the poster was actually autographed by Buckethead. And if you wanted to spend an extra $50, you could get a different poster. It was like the same poster, but it was like
hologrammed or something.
Yeah, something like that.
And also, since you're talking about merch, the Plaza also had a shirt that I was really interested in getting. I liked the way it looked, and it had the establishment year on it. But it was too much. It was $40, and I paid that for the Buckethead shirt. So, but that was nice to see that there was another shirt to choose from.
Yeah, I thought that was super cool. I would have bought it if they still had the. I guess they were selling it at the bar.
Yeah.
But they didn't have the bar open after the show, obviously. But yeah, I definitely would like to get that shirt at some point, or like something talking about the Plaza. But I thought that was a really cool shirt. But yeah, those posters, those Buckethead posters, I thought it was really awesome and surprising that not only was it autographed, which was insane, but just the fact that it actually commemorated that particular show at the Plaza. So I definitely decided to get the one. Did you have something to say?
I was just going to say that you were telling me that, especially since Buckethead doesn't have too many autographed things.
Yeah, I've been on eBay numerous times looking for Buckethead autographs, and I just don't see them. I think maybe like on his website he might sell some autograph stuff, but it's not something that you see very often. He doesn't write in cursive or anything. He just writes Buckethead and he just prints his name basically. But I was like, the combination of the autograph and it commemorating the actual show, I was like, I'm gonna spend the extra money to get this. It was definitely worth the $75. But yeah, we were in the general admission standing room. The ticket prices were really good. It's really nice going to the smaller shows lately and only having to spend like 50 something bucks on a ticket. It's nothing like crazy, definitely affordable. But went ahead and got in, we were like, what, the 5th row, I would say?
No, I was the 4th.
Yeah, 4th or 5th row. in the general admission standing room, and looking around, I thought there were a lot of red lights before the show. And of course, he has his like spooky music that he plays, and also just movie sound bites that he plays over the PA. And honestly, a lot of it sounded very similar to what I think I heard before the last show last year. So I think that stuff was very similar. I was analyzing what was on the actual stage, and I would say I was wondering if the drummer from the last show was going to show up again, and I figured he would after seeing the drum set. But I also looked around and I saw there was another guitar on the left side of the stage, and there was a bass guitar on the right side of the stage. So my prediction was that he was going to have a couple special guests, like included along with the drummer, and I was like kind of half right. But eventually, I thought the show was going to start either like right at 8 or like a few minutes past 8. But it was a good, 15-20 minutes after 8 that he started. And
it was 8:14 when it started.
Yeah, so like, I think maybe I'm overanalyzing, maybe nitpicking a little bit, but I do think the crowd was really hyped at like 8.
Yeah.
And the fact that it went on like 15 minutes later, I think that did like kind of take away a little bit from the energy before the show. But eventually, like, the music gets louder and the lights turn on. I see the drummer come out. He was the first person I saw, and then Buckethead comes out, and then started the show. And one of the first things I noticed was that he was wearing the same long sleeve that he was wearing last time. I saw some people online found one at Walmart, so I don't know if that's where he got it, but apparently they do, or at least did, sell that at Walmart. But he seems to really like this shirt because he wears it at a lot of different shows. So one of the early things that happened in the show, he did a leg kick, which was very surprising for me, just considering his age. And I don't believe I've seen him do a leg kick since the first show I've been to of Buckethead, and that was back in 2018. And that was interesting. He actually did a couple leg kicks throughout the show. Did you notice that?
I did. I was taken aback by it.
He did his robot, of course, and of course he shredded the whole night and everything. He did not bring out the nunchucks, which was interesting.
I was a little surprised about that, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. The thing that was different about this show compared to the last show is, like, the last show, Buckethead came out by himself to start the show, and then the drummer came in like in the middle of the set. And this show, the drummer was there the whole entire set, well, for the most part. But it's the same guy. I did a little bit of research on him like a while ago, and shockingly enough, he did something on Guns N' Roses' Chinese Democracy.
Wow.
He was like really he did something behind the scenes, but he is in the credits, I guess.
He did sing a little also.
Yes, he sang a little. They did Black Sabbath, War Pigs.
War Pigs, yes.
They did Black Sabbath War Pigs last year too, with the guy on lead vocals. I was like happy they did an Ozzy song, considering Ozzy just passed away, and I wanted to get a video of something that like would commemorate Ozzy in relation to this show. So that is cool.
I was a little surprised that he didn't do Iron Man, since that's like a major guitar riff.
It's very robotic too.
Yeah, I'm very surprised he didn't do that.
They definitely covered some songs that I wasn't super familiar with.
He didn't do Twinkle Twinkle Little Star though. He always does something like that.
Yeah.
So it was a different setup for sure.
Yeah, that's the one thing I love about these Buckethead shows is every one of them has been totally different. It's even though there are some things that are the same, I would say like the vibe and atmosphere and just the overall show is different every time. It's not like it's one of the first shows he's done in a long time, even though I would say there was a good amount of technical issues. But what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say that, number one, don't forget about the pick that he threw out.
Yeah, he threw out a pick like a few feet away from us. There were like numerous people pulling their flashlight out and looking for it or whatever. He didn't have anyone play the kill switch in the first row, and I don't know why. He's done that at every single show I've been to. He hasn't. But he didn't do it tonight. And along with that, he didn't hand out any toys or take any toys from anyone. They always have that segment, so
that was definitely different.
Definitely different.
And he kind of left the crowd hanging at the end of the show. Like I don't think everybody was for sure that the show had ended.
Yeah, definitely. That was such a weird vibe. I've never like felt that weird vibe at the end of a show before like that. Where like everyone was thinking it wasn't over, and like they were like, well, he's still got to do his gifts and everything, but he didn't.
And also, when all that was happening, everybody stood around waiting to see if he would come out for an encore, and he didn't. But there was one guy that screamed. He's like, "Woo!" So everybody come running back in, which was kind of funny.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, the house lights came up and it was over. It was weird.
It just ended.
I'll be honest with you. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, the show was great. I enjoyed myself. It was awesome. Like, I have majority just positive things to say. But I will say, there were definitely a lot of times where his back was towards you. Because he was really honed in on just like the drummer. Yes.
I agree with that a lot. I was actually going to make that comment because I think he felt himself doing it because he would turn and go to his spot right where we were at.
Yeah. And it's like funny because like at the last show, I tried to stay in the middle, like at the middle of the crowd so I could have that good distribution of just the left and the right of the stage. So this time I was like, I want to stand on the right side so I can get like, so I could be directly to Buckethead because he stands on the right side of the stage in front of his amps most of the show, but then he ended up being like occupied with the drummer a lot of the show. So it's like I'm chasing him. It's crazy, but like I said, he's amazing. Don't get me wrong. He's still super fast. He doesn't like show any age really. I mean, I think I think he's like really, really good still.
Clean. Very clean.
Oh yeah, super clean. And yeah, like still puts on a good show. Some of the songs I remember, like of course he ended with Soothsayer, which like, man, after going to that show last year, I became addicted to Soothsayer, and it was just awesome to, I mean, I've seen him play it live before, but I have a new perspective on Soothsayer since the last time I saw Buckethead, so it was super, super awesome to see that again live. He ended with that song, and I was thinking to myself, like, you know, a lot of the time he ends with this song, but I didn't think it was going to be the ending, but it was the ending. So he played for, I think, a little bit less than 2 hours.
Yeah, that was a pretty good look.
And I mentioned some of the technical issues. Someone told me he broke a string at one point. Did you notice that?
No.
Yeah, I didn't notice that. I did notice the part where it seemed like Buckethead might have like stepped on a cable and unplugged it because the sound of his guitar wasn't coming out, and P-Sticks came over and had to like fix it. And man, speaking of P-Sticks, his main guy, I saw a lot of P-Sticks tonight.
He was out there a lot.
Yeah, he was just like a lot of times Buckethead would go over to him and they would just be like talking, like trying to figure something out, I guess. Or like messing with the amps. But yeah, P-Sticks was out there a good amount. With Buckethead, when he has issues, he's so good at masking it that it's hard to notice a lot of the time.
That's true. Absolutely.
Which is like a talent in and of itself.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like he really knows what he's doing after all these years, of course.
I didn't even know he broke a string.
Yeah, neither did I. And like a lot of the time too, Buckethead would go over to his amps and he'd be tuning his guitar, like, and it wouldn't just take like 2 seconds. He'd be doing it for a little while. And
you don't ever see any other guitarist do that in the middle of a show, ever.
It was interesting. But part of it, once again, to go back to the Plaza, part of that, like him being so like kind of loose and chill and just like not worried about killing time, it kind of just gave me that club vibe again. Like you wouldn't see that type of stuff at like a huge production and stuff like that. So
very good point.
So even though like, yeah, it might have like wasted time, it might have been a little boring, from that perspective I thought it was kind of cool. It just gave that club vibe to me again.
But that's what makes it a real show. It's not like something that you would see on TV.
Yes.
That's something you have to experience.
For sure. And another thing, well, I wanted to talk about the crowd. Very, very diverse crowd. Lots of white, black, Hispanic people.
Yes.
Which I think is really cool. Very
young and old.
Yep.
There was a lot of young and a lot of old.
I would say not as many people dressed up like Buckethead than I'm used to.
I saw one.
Yeah, I saw one, and then I saw like maybe one other KFC bucket. Like when we walked out, we did have one drunk guy in the middle of the set come up next to us out of nowhere, and he was having a blast.
He knocked me over.
He almost knocked her over, and he was just like, seemed like he was just hopping around the audience.
That mosh pit that came up to us, I guess.
Yeah, so she mentioned a mosh pit. Yeah, that was one of the coolest things about the show for me, was there was a mosh pit. It was pretty unexpected. I've only seen a mosh pit one time in my life. It was actually the first concert I ever went to, which was Primus back in 2014. But it was pretty awesome to see the mosh pit. Didn't go in the mosh pit this time, but I definitely would have if you did.
It didn't last long enough.
Yeah, it wasn't for a super long period of time, but I thought that was really cool, seeing the mosh pit. Of course, you're gonna like have people that are smoking in front of you, and you're gonna have some people that are like annoying at times, but for the most part, I didn't really have an issue with the crowd at all.
Me either.
I thought the drunk guy was actually pretty hilarious, especially because like he screamed "F yeah" after one song, and then he went to another spot in the crowd. So yeah, pretty funny. He almost elbowed me in the face too, but anyway. Let's see, what else? I would say the lighting on this concert, there was purple lighting the whole entire show.
But that was black light.
Yeah, that was, oh, thank you for mentioning that, because that is such an awesome point. There was a black light, like the black lighting was very interesting. Definitely something I noticed. So basically, like the people who are wearing white shirts in the crowd, or shirts with any white on them, the white part would be like glow in the dark, basically.
Yes.
And that also transferred up on the stage with, like, you could see Buckethead's pit guards that were glow in the dark. His sleeve, like the stripes on his sleeve were glow in the dark.
Shoes.
Yeah, his laces and stuff like that. I even noticed he had like a dot on his nose.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, so like that was also a little bit green from the black light, and he had a dot on his guitar too.
I did see that.
Yeah, so that was like, I think he did that on purpose, like, you know, him just messing around or whatever. I don't know what material he was using, but he did whatever he could to make sure that like a little bit of glow in the dark happened.
I didn't even notice until like I looked down at my shirt and it was glowing, and I was like so happy I had my shirt on.
Oh yeah, so I forgot to mention about the merch. So I ended up buying a shirt, and I got a bunch of stickers for my niece, and I ended up I think I mentioned getting the poster, and you just got the shirt, right?
Right.
Okay. He didn't play the Redeem Team, which is another one of those like soothsayer type songs, which I really absolutely fell in love with after my show last year, and I was hoping he would play it because I have that new perspective on it, but you know, once again, beggars can't be choosers. At least I got soothsayer at the end. So that was really cool. Didn't play Welcome to Buckethead Land or Nottingham Lace. I think he might have did like Botanist. I'm trying to remember like the names of the songs that I remember. He did this one song, I think it was the second song. I can't remember the name of it, but I remember he played it at the last show, and I really liked it. Couldn't find it on streaming services, but he played it again this go around, and I got to record a video of that one this time, which was cool. Honestly, like him playing that green bass, I thought it was gonna be like more notable, if that makes sense. I thought he was really gonna be like doing a lot of like pick
type stuff.
Yeah, like picking and like slap bass type stuff,
Right.
But he really wasn't. He was just kind of just playing the bass, nothing super remarkable as far as that goes. I mean, of course he's like talented on any instrument. When he was in the middle of his set, he brought out, I don't know if it was a kid, it looked like a kid to me.
I thought it might be a woman.
Yeah, it might have been a woman. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, they were wearing a mask, and it looked like they might have had blonde hair, but they were kind of wearing like...
They were wearing like an igloo jacket.
Yeah, like an Eskimo.
Yeah, with the hoodie on it.
Yeah. So, and they were just like, they grabbed the guitar, and they were like just playing lead guitar while Buckethead was playing the bass, which was different and interesting.
I think he was giving the other guy the opportunity to shine on that one.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Whoever that person was, if it was a boy or a girl or an adult or
that's
kid.
The thing about Buckethead is like you just kind of have to figure it out because there's no talking at all. There's no introduction of special guests. Like you just have to figure it out.
Yeah. At the end of the special guest, I noticed Buckethead was clapping. So that was cool.
I think he was really digging it, like that whole interaction between them.
Yeah. So that was definitely interesting. Never seen anyone like collaborate with Buckethead besides that drummer last time. But it seems like the show has definitely evolved since last year. One pre-show thing I forgot to mention. I remember last year he had this big like symbol up on the I don't even know, like up on the back of the top of the curtains, like up on like behind the drum set. He had this big like icon symbol thing. I think it said Mascotron, but anyway, this go around he didn't have anything there at all. So that was definitely something I remembered. And yeah, I felt bad for the people who like brought gifts to him because it's not a one-sided affair when it comes to the gift giving segment. Like a lot of people give Buckethead gifts, so I felt bad when I saw people like I said once again next to the urinal with chickens in their hands, and I'm not talking about their penis. So yeah, it was I felt bad for those people, but yeah,
they're just gonna have chickens in their hands.
Sad chickens on the way out, walking out. You said you thought it got a little bit boring at times?
Yeah, there was a couple times, I would say probably towards the end of the show, where he had to go behind the stage, or go behind the curtain, and one time it was for a good minute or so, like...
Not a minute.
A whole minute, yeah. Like when you're in the middle of a show, that's a long time.
Yeah.
And he comes back out, and I thought it was going to be like another like segment, and he just like takes off where a lot of the songs blended together too. It was hard to distinguish where one song ended and another one began. So
yeah.
That one was a little drawback for me. I wish he would have had like a final ending on one song and then beginning on another.
Yeah, there was definitely at least a time or two I thought to myself like,
this is the longest song ever.
No. Well there was just times that I'm like he would bust back into the main riff, and I'd be like, I thought he played this at the beginning of the show, but I'm not 100% sure because
I think a lot of it is because the drum beat is the same for both songs.
Yeah. I would agree with that for sure. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, for sure.
That's the other comment I want to make too is that drummer had to be fucking exhausted because he didn't take a break the whole time. I don't remember him taking a break.
Honestly, I do remember him taking a break. Well, because one, when the guest guitar player was on, at one point the drummer wasn't. It was just the guitar player, like at the beginning.
Okay.
But also, this was something that blew my mind. So during Jordan, arguably Buckethead's biggest song, like there's a part in the middle where it starts to get really fast, and the drummer completely stopped playing the drums, and he just started drinking water. And they just had the...
He was exhausted.
It sounds like this man is just gonna die tonight. No, but like they have the backing track that they're playing on most of these songs, by the way. So honestly, I don't know. The drummer didn't feel super like needed to me, honestly. because like I said, Buckethead was doing a backing track to like every single song, playing to a backing track, I should say. Like he was actually playing. It wasn't like he was like faking it or anything. But like the drums, I don't know, especially if you're not going to do the fast part of Jordan, it's like, I don't know, that would have made it cool if he actually did that part, but he didn't. So I thought that was hilarious in the middle of Jordan during the solo.
That.
Yeah, he was just like looking down. Yeah, he was chugging his water and just like looking down like at his phone or something. I don't know, but anyway, so yeah, that was that was interesting.
That's funny you say that about the backing track, because I didn't notice that, and I just thought he was just playing his little heart out the whole time.
Yeah, I mean he was, but like I said, him playing live compared to like the backing track playing, I don't think you would tell any difference. I don't think it was absolutely packed, to be honest with you.
No, I mean there was room. I wasn't getting bumped and bruised like I sometimes get at concerts. I got bumped a couple times, so it was just people coming into the area to get a better view and then they'd leave. But for the most part, I had plenty of room. I had a hard time standing for that long a time, and I was having a shift. And normally when it's really packed, you can't move at all, and I was comfortable, very comfortable.
I thought you said your feet hurt though.
They did.
All right. I don't know. Sometimes it's, to me, especially if like the show's getting a little bit boring at times, I find so much fascination in just observing people in the crowd. Especially because just some people are just hilarious, like at the last concert we went to. But yeah, and just like some people, it just seems like, man, you can just tell they're tripping on something. Like
somebody got escorted out for something. We don't even know why.
I got some of that stuff on video, because there's definitely like some interesting stuff to happen at those small venues, those clubs, and like being in the general admission standing room. It's a lot of fun. Yeah,
like the guy smoking weed, like you can't hide. Everybody knew he was the one smoking.
God, and he was blowing so much smoke around him, and just like I couldn't stop laughing because
he was blowing it down and it was just blowing up around him.
And he just like, he didn't have like a care in the world about anyone else. He was just locked in on the concert. So anyway, I thought that was pretty funny. I thought the sound was really good. I didn't have really any issues with like hearing Buckethead throughout most of the show, obviously, besides the time like he unplugged the thing by accident or whatever, or like maybe there was like one tiny part in the show where like the drums were louder than the guitar, but for the most part I thought Buckethead sounded, I didn't have any issues with hearing him. My ears were ringing when I got in the car.
The only time I thought that the drums sounded louder than Buckethead was when he was playing bass.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That was the only time for me, but other than that, I thought the sound was amazing.
Yeah. All right, well, any final thoughts?
No, I would do it again just because I think I would have a different experience than I had this time. There was things that he had done at the first one that he didn't do at this one, so it would be interesting to see a third time to see the difference between the two.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's so cool how it's like you're not seeing the same show over and over. I had an absolutely fantastic time. Seriously enjoyed the show, and man, I don't take Buckethead for granted. Like I said, he's getting older. He's had a bunch of health issues. I am going to see him every time I can. And glad that he's still touring. You never know, and it might be the last time you see a guy. So if you have the chance to see an artist and you really want to, man, spend that money if you can and have that memory that can last forever. I recorded a vlog for this. I'm going to upload it before I upload this review. But hope you all enjoyed. Hope you can please comment, like, and subscribe. If you're at the show, let me know what you thought. I remember last year my vlog and my review performed very well. Got a good amount of people that commented that were from the show. So let me know what you think. And man, gotta say, those Plaza bathrooms, those are like the nicest bathrooms I've ever experienced in my life.
They're pretty nice.
All right, see you everybody.